Welcome back to Giggity Giggity Giggleboys. I'm your host, Eli Halpern.
I'm Mike Eaton.
And this is episode 10. We're brought to you by Golden Cricket Protein Bars. Let me stand up real quick.
Yeah, look at that. Look, he made a shirt/billboard. Or they made a shirt/billboard.
And go to goldencricketprotein.com and just look around. I guess you can't buy anything yet till April 20th.
Yeah, they're launching on 4/20, but I did get to try one today.
Yeah, we had the samples. Those were delicious.
Yeah, peanut butter banana chocolate chip.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect flavor.
It is. It's enough because peanut butter banana alone is very good, but it's hard to like eat that as a whole bar, I find. Like I couldn't eat those regularly, but the chocolate chip of it gives it like enough consistency in there that there's like a diversity in each bite.
I'm pretty sure you could eat anything regularly.
Yeah. Well, not vegetables, clearly.
Oh, no, the selling point is 10 grams of cricket protein saves 150 gallons of water compared to whey protein.
The selling point is you were going to buy a different protein bar. Buy this one. Stop being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well said. That should be the slogan.
Yeah. Man.
So,
yeah,
you go.
Fuck. We just went live on TikTok to celebrate 10,000 followers.
Yep. We're up to 11.2 thousand now.
We are also, I've never felt older than trying to go live on TikTok, assuming that it would be very easy, and just looking down at my phone like, oh, I'm fucking 50.
Like, it was fun, though.
It was when people joined and then we started having people talk to us. What was really funny is we almost didn't do it because...
Yeah, you called me before and you were like, hey, I've been saying that I'm feeling under the weather all day. I just checked my temperature and it's like 99. And are you sure you want to like come over right now? And I was like, ooh, no, that sounds scary. And then you were like, actually, it could just be because I just worked out for an hour and then took a really hot shower.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, probably. Go take a cold shower and try again. And then I find out you used a meat thermometer to take your temperature.
Listen. There's more to it than that. I went to the gym and I was running, and like halfway through my workout, like it was just very hard to run. So I was like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. Like, so I thought I was dying of a heart attack. So I was like, I'm going to go sit on my couch and just die in my apartment. So I get back there and I notice I got a package in the mail that has my new meat thermometer. And I opened it and I looked at it and I was like, I should see if it works. So I stuck the meat thermometer in my mouth and it was like 100 degrees. I was like, oh shit, that's not good. So I went and got the human thermometer and I used that and it was like 99.8.
I liked how you went live and someone was like, you should just put it in your belly button.
And then I did.
And then you tried it and it worked.
It did. That was the craziest part is I stuck the meat thermometer in my belly button and it was 98.7. I was just fine.
Meat thermometers. They work on your belly button.
Yeah, that should be their ad.
We sold our first merch shirt.
Yeah.
Check out giggleboys.com.
Go there.
And then click the little 3 bars and then go to the shop. And that'll lead you to another website, which is castburgers.com. Because internet stuff is hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how to join it to the domain because it's on another Shopify. I don't know, man. I don't know how this stuff works.
I don't know if one of you knows smart computer stuff.
But apparently there's a DNS issue with castburgers.com. So make sure you put the www. And you're not going to even know how to spell that anyway. So just go to giggleboys.com and go navigate it.
Yeah, we'll advertise for this podcast on this podcast. We do that.
Yeah. If you haven't heard of this podcast, you should check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
If you like Giggleboys, you'd love Giggleboys.
Oh, man.
You also had a murder at your complex.
Yeah, so that was one of the strangest things that's ever happened. I was taking Brittany home from my wife from work, and we pull up to our apartments, and there's just like 50 cops out front. And I pull up, and he's like, hey, where are you going? He's like, well, we live right there. And he's like, well, there's been a crime. I was like, what happened? He's like, I can't say. All I can say is check the media. I'm like, all right, well, when can I go to my house? And he was like, it's going to take between 3 and 12 hours to clean this up. So we're like, fuck. And we go to our little local bar, and we're sitting down. Someone has the Citizen app, and they pull it up. So some lady got in an argument with a dude and shot him. And then he ran down the hallway, and she shot him again. And then he died in the parking garage. Like, the cops showed up and tried to do CPR, and it didn't work. So, he ran the long way in the apartments and just inconvenienced. His last act was inconveniencing a bunch of people.
I can't inflate his lungs. It keeps slipping out these bullet holes.
Oh, well. But, yeah, so
You're going, and you just hear...
This accordion sucks. Oh, there's something very wrong with
The
us.
Citizen app is cool. I remember one time I witnessed a shooting. It was like a block away from me. I was out on the porch and I heard like 15 gunshots.
Oh, that was here.
Yeah, and then I look on the Citizen app and the dot is right on top of my dot. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is gang related. I think they're gonna kill the witnesses. So I just like slid down and I just stayed on my porch with the lights off, just like creeping around.
I thought you were gonna say you looked down at your hands and you're like, I don't have a gun. Where Wait.
Actually. This weekend I went to Arkansas for a fight. So at my martial arts team.
It's very funny, just that sentence, if you don't say the martial arts part of it. I just went to Arkansas for a fight.
Yeah, I drove up to Arkansas to fight people. No,
Yeah.
I didn't fight. So three of my teammates on the MMA team went out for a fight, and everyone demolished.
Good.
It was really cool. We were talking
Beat
about how we
those
wanted
sister fuckers into the ground.
Yeah, dude. As soon as we get into Arkansas, I had some shit written down about this. But we go up there, and everyone's wearing matching tracksuits. Oh, I guess I don't have anything. I have nothing.
Good. So everyone's wearing matching tracksuits.
Let's see. I saw a Blue Lives Matter sticker on a car.
Good.
That I don't usually see.
Yeah.
The only thing open was McDonald's. After the fight, we went to like celebrate. Just McDonald's open, and then we're like, all right, let's check delivery. DoorDash. McDonald's delivers.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
That should be Arkansas state slogan. Only McDonald's.
I also thought it was funny that the U.S. Army was one of the sponsors of the event. So it's kind of like, yeah, we saw this isn't working out for you. Why don't you come kill for us?
Yeah. No, they see the
We'll
good
give you
ones
free
and they're
college.
like, hey, you're really good at that. You want to not care if they tap out?
Yeah, but we took a van up there. My buddy lives in a van, so he had like a nice a couch and a.
So you drove his house up there?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. We had like 8 guys in the car,
So technically like a moving house party.
and yeah, we were all just smoking weed on the way there and stuff. And everyone in martial
Allegedly.
arts smokes weed
Yeah.
and doesn't drink,
That's
which I finally do now.
yeah.
Although the smoking weed part is still difficult because I can't go in public. I don't get how you guys do it,
Oh, it's great.
but it's
Well,
getting better. I feel like it's like being high and living life is like playing the game on expert mode.
maybe.
Actually, a comic.
Then I can
said
blame
that to
all
me.
my failures on that. I've just been playing on a harder level.
Yeah. Yeah, life is just hard for me because I'm a pothead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone's wearing these matching bright red jumpsuits with like the logos on them and stuff. And I imagine the opponents are like, look at these fucking idiots in their bright red jumpsuits,
Yeah.
you know? And then we just go in there and beat the shit out of all of them and then leave. Like we just drove 8 hours to kick all these people's asses and then go home.
I'm really upset you guys didn't all affect like a Russian accent and just go in there and pretend like you're a bunch of Soviets coming to Arkansas and then just came in and you're all red and just destroyed them. They're like, Russia's interfered in our MMA elections too.
Yeah, they're fighters, not comedians.
Yeah, but you were there.
It's so different hanging out with fighters and comedians because most of them are like kind of more serious.
Yeah,
And like I'm nonstop like cracking jokes.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you've met me, but
Yeah. That was the problem I
But
had.
that's kind of like everyone that we know too.
At the beginning of the quarantine, I went and joined an MMA gym by where I was living in LA and did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And every time I'd make a joke, like everyone was just like, why are you doing that here? I was like, you guys don't want to have fun while you're having okay, so you're gonna sit there and you're gonna put me in missionary position and I'm not gonna go, like that's not a little funny. Like, fuck you, man. That's hilarious.
No, that's weird.
No, it's fun. If you do it like a funny way,
That would make me so uncomfortable.
well, then don't do that.
No, you don't do that to me.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. It's funny.
But well, one thing. First of all, seeing people that you train with every day beat someone's ass is super cool. It's
Yeah.
like I was part of their success, you know?
yeah.
Like, I don't know. But they have a walkout. Like everyone picks their own song.
What
And-
would your walkout music be?
I think "Start a Riot" by Duckworth.
Yeah.
That's like an angry song, or something by Run the Jewels or Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
some angry shit. But I was talking to my coach, Cody, about how like I want to do some like crazy walkout and stuff, and he's like, "You got to check out Jason Mayhem Miller."
Okay.
So I looked up. Gary, do you have that pulled up?
No, absolutely not. There's not a chance in hell.
I told you to pull it up before we started recording, so you'd have this ready.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Jason Mayhem Miller. I just found out about this guy. He's insane, and he has this one walkout where he comes out and he's just dancing with like 9 Japanese schoolgirls behind him, and that's how he's and he's like smiling.
What?
And yeah, this is how he walks out to an MMA fight.
He's like, hey, I'm going to intimidate you, but first.
Yeah. He's a fucking psycho. I watched an interview with him too, and he's sitting there, and he's just the reporter's like, yeah, so he spends his time drinking and smoking, and then just goes to a clip of him like hitting a bong in his backyard, and then they're interviewing him, and he just seems like arrogant and like kind of like ugh, and he's drinking whiskey or he's drinking like vodka out of a glass, and then he's just like, yeah, and then just throws it and it shatters.
That's awesome.
And then the guy interviewing him is just like, what the fuck's going on?
So he's an insane person.
Yeah, big time. And in every picture he's doing this.
Yeah, I like that. You should start doing that.
I do triangle face. Yeah, play that shit. Wait, no, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to
play it on mute. I don't think there's any. No, there's no royalties on that song.
I don't. Just play it on mute. Just play it on mute. Just play it on mute.
But this is the wrong. This is the wrong one though. Look where it should be kind of grainy and bad quality, and he's wearing a silver suit.
Yeah, if you can find that. While Gary's looking for that, I'll tell you what I would like to do for my walkout. I would like the song "That's Not My Name" by the Ting Tings.
I don't know that. That's obviously not my song.
Oh, it's a great. I can't play it obviously because of copyrights, but we
can play copyrights. They'll sue me. I don't care.
No, I don't want them to take the video down.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't care if they sue you. Anyways, it's a very poppy song. It like very girly. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Yeah, I think this is it. Go forward a little bit,
all right.
and take it off mute.
They're gonna take your video down.
Yeah.
100%.
No.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Well, if they do, I'll re-upload it with no sound.
Can we just play it with no sound? We need
play
Charlie.
It.
Charlie.
It wouldn't make a difference.
Why are you not playing it? Just press the play button.
Fight number 10.
Skip forward a little bit. Skip forward like 30 seconds.
We're watching videos of fights.
Skip forward more.
Skip forward more. Oh shit.
Skip forward a little more.
There's some purple light stuff. Oh shit.
This is how he walks out to a fucking MMA fight. There's some like techno music playing. We can't hear music over here in the studio.
I would really like. Does he lose?
I don't know. Just wants to walk out.
All right.
He's a really good fighter.
I get the point. Can we look up his record? I would like to see his fighting record.
Look at the look on his face.
Because what would be the funniest thing in the world to me is if he does this thing and then he goes out and just gets his shit stomped. Just gets absolutely brutalized, and all of the Japanese schoolgirls are sitting there like, why did we dance for him? He's terrible.
They're getting paid. They don't care.
Yeah, but they bring dishonor on their family by dancing with a loser.
They're dancing with a white American man. I think that's like the pinnacle of Japanese success.
I don't know. I don't want to have you Google that. But pinnacle of Japanese success sounds like it's going to be a hentai.
23 and 10.
All right, so 10 times he's done some crazy shit like that, then someone's just,
That's a pretty good record, I think.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
Better than I'm doing.
I have a cage wrestling fight in a week, and I don't know how to wrestle.
That's awesome.
And I get a walkout song.
Oh shit! I'm gonna be there for this.
It's 3 hours away. It's in Alvin.
Oh, I'm not gonna be there for this. What day is it? Is it the 13th?
It's either yes.
Okay, I can't. I have a show.
How did you know it was the 13th?
Because you posted a flyer of it. Because
yeah.
Oh,
with my picture.
Yeah, I saw that picture of that flyer, and I thought I was in the Bad Comedy Flyers Facebook group.
Wait, no. That flyer was better than any comedy picture ever.
You're insane.
Dude, every comedy poster is so bad.
You are absolutely out of your fucking mind.
You think comedy posters are good?
I think there are plenty of good comedy posters, but what I'm saying is that poster was a visual abomination.
It's better than any poster you've ever been on, minus the round.
You don't think the animated posters that we made were fucking incredible? Or the posters that I commissioned for Party Words from that really amazing artist?
Yes, that one was good, and
Yep.
the ones I did were decent.
Decent. They were amazing. Those were
Thanks.
incredible. Yeah, I designed them. The ones I did before that, I've been on so many good comedy flyers. There's so many good comedy flyers.
I'm gonna say 95% of comedy flyers are terrible.
All right, well,
That is better than 95% of comedy flyers.
There's no way. I wish we could pull this up. It is a nightmare abortion of a visual. But anyway, so you have a cage fight on the 13th. Is the other guy, has he wrestled before?
I don't know. I probably should.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, great.
That's
That
not gonna
worked
do
really well.
He doesn't understand how it works.
I understand how cameras focus.
You just tried to hold a phone to a camera that's focused on you guys.
Yeah.
You clearly don't
What am I gonna do? Just not show it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, go on his Instagram, and then you can also go to his fight if you're near Alvin, Texas.
Don't. But go to my comedy shows.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about martial arts. It makes me realize I'm good at comedy.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't know. I don't have the patience for martial arts. Like every time that I get into it, like I can do it for like 6 months, and then it's just like I don't want to be here anymore. Like if I'm gonna fight with someone, I'd rather just have a gun. You know? Like,
I feel like I need to drain that testosterone energy somewhere. Or
yeah. But I'd rather go lift weights.
yeah, I got overlifting weights.
Uh,
I like exerting my body to the fullest.
that's good. We're built different. I
Clearly.
yeah, you know.
So you got kicked out of Virginia, you're telling me?
Yeah, dude, I got a fucking Facebook memory. Those 99% of the time are like just the cringiest thing of my
Yeah.
life. But every now and then it's
Who's trying to party?
yeah, exactly. Like it was just me posting my phone number hoping someone would text me for like 4 years straight. It was bad, man. But I got one that was like a reminder of the first time I did Xanax when I was like 18 in Radford. And I did it at like 3 a.m. on a Friday night after partying. And I woke up at Sunday at 6 p.m. and I was back in my dorm room and I couldn't find my phone anywhere. And then I go to message my friends. I'm like, hey guys, like, where is everybody? I can't find my shit. And they're like, we've been trying to find you all day. We need to leave to get back to college. And I'm like, I'm here. They're like, what do you mean you're here? We're looking for you. We lost you Friday night. You've been gone for a day and a half. I'm like, well, I'm back at the dorm. So somehow on Xanax, I traveled 200 miles and lost my phone, my wallet, and all of my clothes. So I just woke up naked with none of my belongings in my dorm room. Like a day and a half later, I was like, oh, wow. So I got that Facebook memory. I was like, man, I haven't been to Virginia in a while. And then I remembered it's because I'm banned from the state of Virginia. I have a bunch of warrants there. Allegedly, I think. I don't know. So my last day of college, we went out to party in the middle of the woods. And we were all drinking and smoking. And you know, we're 19, having a good time. And then out of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, cops just come out of the fucking forest. And they start running at us. So, you know, we all scatter. And me and my friend Ivan start sprinting away.
Wait, when were you in the woods?
When I was 19, we were at the party.
Before the Xanax?
This is way after. 2 different stories.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, we're in the woods and the cops pull up. And me and my friend Ivan bolt towards the corner where we came in at. And the cops yell, freeze. And so we both stop. And like, Ivan like starts walking forward. And like, thing I have to mention, Ivan's also black. And it's nighttime. And we're in the woods. And he's wearing black. And so the cop can't see him. Like, Ivan's far enough away. He just sees me in like a bright pink shirt. And so I'm just frozen like this. And Ivan's like, sorry, man. And just walks away into the woods slowly and disappears. So we're like, fuck yeah, Ivan. So they give us all tickets for drunk on wildlife property, and they take all of our booze and they take all of our weed, but then they just leave us there. So there's like 10 people in a couple of Jeeps, like still just sitting there. And then we go and we look under the backseat of the Jeep, and we still had more booze and weed. So we just started the party back up after the cops left. And like an hour and a half later, Ivan just walks back out of the woods to the party and is like, what's up, y'all? I've been hiding. Like, fuck yeah.
Just disintegrated into the night.
Dude, he was so awesome. But yeah, so apparently there was like a big court date, and I didn't do anything about that. And so like I got a letter in the mail when I was like 19 or 20 that said I was not like welcome back in the state of Virginia. So I'm like, all right, I just won't go there, probably.
That's I don't think I'm banned from any states.
It's pretty good. I
I almost got banned from Canada.
How did you do that?
I lost my phone in a taxi, and then we got into this club. I was probably like 21, 22, and I realized I lost my phone when we got in the club, and I was like, fuck. and I kneed the shit out of this wall and made this huge hole in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's cameras everywhere, and one of the guys working there came up to me and he's like, "Did you knee this hole in the wall?" And I was like, "What? No." And
I
then
just met her.
I was hammered, and somehow I lied my way, and I was like, "I didn't do that, man. Like, check the cameras. I'll come look at them with you." Just on a bluff, hoping that they wouldn't be able to find it. They weren't able to find it. Then he apologized to me and said, "Have a good night," and gave me a free drink. Canadians are so nice.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, I was driving with a college buddy. We were driving down to Florida from Virginia that same year of college, and it's a fucking 13-hour drive. So he drives the first half. We switch off. Somewhere in Georgia, we stop at a liquor store and grab a bunch of tall boys and a bottle of vodka. We start drinking while we're driving. Don't do this. Start drinking while we're driving, and as we're getting close to the Florida-Georgia line, cop starts to pull me over. And I'm like, fuck. Fuck. I'm 18, and we pull over, and I tell the guy I'm with, I'm like, "Hey, Charlie, wake up. We're getting pulled over." And he's like, "Fuck, what do I do?" And I was like, "Chug the rest of this beer discreetly." So Charlie, like, sideways chugs the beer in the seat. And then the cop comes up to the window, and he's like, "You know what? I'm pulling you over." I'm like, "Sorry, officer. We've been driving since like 6 this morning. We're coming in from Virginia." And he goes, "Where are you headed?" And we're like, "We're driving to Florida, where he's from. We have Florida plates." And he goes, "Well, you were swerving pretty bad back there." It's like, "I'm sorry, officer. I'm real tired." And he's like, "Well, would you be willing to take a breathalyzer?" I'm like cocky as shit. So I'm like, "Of course, officer. I don't drink. I'm not even 21. And he goes, "All right, we'll step out of the vehicle." So I step out of the vehicle. He goes and gets his fucking breathalyzer, and he puts it up to my face, and I blow the breathalyzer. And the whole time I had him, I'm like, fuck. So I blow the breathalyzer, and it pops up, and it goes 0.000. And then it beeps, and it says that I have a 0.00 blood alcohol level. And I swear to God, I used all my self-control not to go, "Fuck yeah!" Because I just
That's insane.
yeah, I just went, "Officer, I told you I wasn't drinking." He's like, "Be on your way." And I was like, "Thank you,
Dude, we
sir."
are way too lucky.
Yeah.
Have I told that story about how my Walt Jr. Halloween costume?
No.
When I was, I think, 18 or 19, I dressed up as Walt Jr. for Halloween.
Okay.
The retarded guy.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Breaking
okay,
Bad.
cool. Yeah, I
had the hand crutches, and I couldn't grow facial hair at the time, and I was very scrawny. So
Perfect.
it was believable. And I convinced literally everyone that I was retarded. And I was just like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" Like talking like that the whole time. And I ended up, people were like looking down on me. Because they thought I was retarded. They were like talking down to me, like, "Oh, hey, how are you there, little guy?" Like, and it was a very weird feeling. I was being treated like a retarded person.
Oh my God.
And I was like going up to like the hottest girls, just be like, "Hey, can I grab you a beer?" And they'd be like, "No, that's fine." I'm like, "No, please, I insist." So then I would crutch over to the keg and fill up a beer. I'd like walk normally after, like I walked behind them, and then I would come back up like. And then I'd be like, "Here you go." And I'd be like shaking violently and spilling all over. And she'd just be like, "Oh, thanks." And just like set it down. "No problem." And then like crutch away. And then
You might be the worst person to ever live. Holy shit.
Later this night, this guy tries to take my crutch, like grab it out of my hand. And he was like fucking with me. And I was like, "No, stop." And then he like kept going, and I was like, "No, seriously, leave me the fuck alone."
And then imagine his brain.
And then he reaches for it again, and I fucking headbutt him in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a beanie at the time. And then he's like, "I'm gonna need a root canal."
What?
That's what he said. And I think he was like bleeding out of his mouth and stuff. And then I swear to God, I go, "Don't make fun of retarded people." And I crutch away. And I'm crutching down. We're in IV, Santa Barbara.
Oh my God.
Isla Vista, where it's like it's a big Halloween party town where it's like tens of thousands of people. And there's cops on every couple blocks making sure people aren't doing exactly what I'm doing. And so I walk past the cops. Then I see the dude go towards the cops. And I'm less like, "Oh, this guy's about to snitch on me."
Yeah.
So the cops are screaming like, "Hey, you, come here." And I look back and I see him holding a flashlight. And I keep crutching. I'm like, okay, either I can bolt and then I blow my cover as having cerebral palsy, or I can go walk over there and see how far I can milk this thing.
Jesus.
So I walk
Christ.
back over, I crutch over slow as fuck. And the cop's like, "Hey, take a seat." This guy says you headbutted him in the face. And I took my beanie off after this. My thought process was like, he's going to be like, oh, that's the guy in the red beanie that did it. And I'm like, oh, no, red beanie. Couldn't be the guy in the crutches and wearing everything else. I don't know.
Christ.
But that actually saved me because I headbutted him with the thing on. So it didn't leave, there was no mark on my head. And I was like, no, officer, he was bullying me because of my disability. And he headbutted me. And I blocked it with the crutch. And he hit his face on the crutch. And then he's like, oh, okay. And goes and talks over to him. Goes over and talks to him. And he's like, so do you want to press charges to me on him?
Yes.
And I'm like, you know, honestly, officer, I think we should just both go our separate ways. It's Halloween, you know. And the kid looks at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, fuck you, snitch.
Yeah.
and we get up, and they're like, all right, you guys stay the fuck away from each other. I don't want to see you again tonight. And then the kid goes like that to like shake my hand. And I was like, I don't think it's necessary that we need to make physical contact. And then the cop like pushes him away. He's like, yeah, stay away from him. And I was like, officer, can I get my crutches back? And one of the cops is like, yeah, for your costume? And I'm like, no, officer, for my cerebral palsy. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he grabs him, and I crutch away. And then I end up banging some girl like in the crutches.
Jesus fucking Christ. I want to be mad at you for this whole story, but at the same time, I remember that Cuba Gooding Jr. got paid a bunch of money to do the same thing in radio. So
I didn't go full retard.
I don't know. The shaking and spilling beer as you hand it to the girl.
I do that anyways. I'm a degenerate alcoholic.
I don't know.
Although I haven't drinking in over a month, and you should try
Drinking. Good. You haven't drinking.
Yeah.
That's a good, I like that.
Haven't been drinking.
Haven't drinking in over a month.
Oh.
That's insane. The closest I've ever come to that is one time in my old apartments in Austin, there was a handicap spot, but it was always empty. And so we all just took turns parking in it. And one day I was parked in that handicap spot, and I was walking outside, and I saw a handicap car trying to park there and just looking at my car in the handicap spot. And so I saw them, and then my first reaction was like, I'm so... And then I realized, like, I can't be retarded and drive. It's like, I'm sorry, I'll move my car. Like, I couldn't even get through a whole sentence as a retarded person. And you were like, nah, I can do it the whole night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've pretended to be Australian for full nights to the point where everyone I was with thought I was Australian. Like when I travel.
That's incredible.
Yeah, something about being drunk just makes me really commit to the character.
I have a problem where I do a lot of different accents at the house by myself or to Brittany, but like I don't ever bring that shit out in public.
Yeah, well, I'm really good at accents.
Good.
I don't know what that's useful for, but
nothing. Probably. I mean, probably something.
I can be a spy.
Jeff
probably.
Dunham made a whole career out of it. Can you do a pretty awful Mexican voice?
I'll start. I should whip out some puppets.
Can you be very racist in Arabic?
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 of the 5 puppets, I think.
We never got into that roller coaster story from last episode.
Dude, it is my favorite story of us, and we started telling it, and it's such a fucking cock tease.
I think that was the hardest. Yeah, I think that was the hardest I've ever seen you laugh.
I know it's the hardest I've ever laughed. I blacked out from laughing.
Yeah.
I lost consciousness for like a full second from laughing so hard.
You brought me to Vegas to work for your old boss.
Yeah.
To do sales for this mortgage coaching company.
Yeah.
And you hadn't fully figured me out at that point, I don't think.
No, we'd only hung out like 10 or 15 times.
That's enough. I think you were just being naive.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, man, like, Mike, I don't want to ruin your fucking reputation with your company. Tell me what I need to do. And you were like, oh, it'll be fine, man. Just be yourself. And I was like, dude, that's literally the worst thing you can say to me.
It was.
It's the...
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, literally, if you just told me specifically what I need to do to not look bad, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But I can't just go in somewhere with no direction and you expect me to use my better judgment to figure out the right thing to do. That's not going to fucking happen.
I hope that someone watching this is like, that sounds very reasonable. So the roller coaster story. So we finished up the first day of work and we're out at the casino drinking. And then we smoke some weed and we're leaving, right?
Yeah, we were hitting that pen and I hit it and I was like, it's not working. You're like, oh, you got to really, really rip it. And then I really, really ripped it. And then I got really, really high.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's fine. I'll be really high. We're just going to go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And we're walking and we were in New York. And you're like, you want to go on the roller coaster?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm terrified of roller coasters, but I wasn't about to admit that to you.
Yeah, because the way you said yes when I was like, hey, do you want to go on this roller coaster? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm like, fuck, how do I not do this? So I'm trying to make up excuses. I'm like, they're probably, the line's too long, like they're too expensive, and then we're getting close, and I'm like, all right, man, I really don't want to fucking do this. And you're like, oh, being the nice guy you are, you're like, oh, it's fine, man. We don't have to do if you don't want to go. And
Why
I was
am I
like,
that gay
no,
in
man.
that voice? What did you just do to me?
You're gay. You talk
Okay.
like a gay person.
All right. Continue.
And I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking bitch. I just really don't want to do this. And you're like, oh, well, all right. If you're not a bitch, then
We're gonna sit in the front seat of the fucking roller coaster.
yeah. So not only we were at the front, we were about to get in, and you're like, no, we're waiting. So I had to sit there and just wait for this whole thing to finish. And as soon as that one
this
left,
is your first time on a roller coaster ever.
yeah.
That's very important to note. Like, you've never been on a roller coaster.
Well, I did go. I went on one in Disneyland once, but it wasn't. It wasn't like
So
this.
you lied to me? I wasn't your first?
I mean, it wasn't really a roller coaster. It's that one, like Space Mountain.
Yeah, that's a roller coaster. Whatever. Continue. So
It's like dark though. It's pitch black, so you can't. You can't see the. It's the heights.
well, this one you could see.
the heights that get me.
Oh, you could see.
So we get in the front cab. I close the bars over my legs, except I close it with my legs on the outside, so it's between my legs. And I didn't know what to do.
So I
And
told
I'm
him he was
freaking
gonna
out.
die. I was like, dude, you closed your legs on the outside. You're stuck. We're gonna go out there. It's gonna rip your fucking legs off. You're gonna die for sure.
And I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. And then the lady comes over and just presses the button and fixes it. And I was like, you're a fucking piece of
And
shit.
he's like, oh, you piece of shit. So then they take a picture of us. So here's the first picture. This is how high Eli was. Like, and you've heard him say a couple times, like, he doesn't really smoke pot. Look at his fucking eyes.
I was having a good time.
He was ripped.
I was happy at that point.
He was ripped. So then,
We get it. We get the roller coaster starts going, and we're going up.
Yeah.
And I see what is ahead of me, and I'm like, "Fuck you, Mike. I wish I never met you. I wish we were never friends. I wish my parents were never born. I wish I never came here. I wish I was never born.
yeah.
I wish we never evolved from Homo erectus. Like I was just, and I was
Yeah.
like smiling, but I was like, I hate you.
Meanwhile,
And you were laughing so fucking hard.
Well, there were two girls in the car behind us that, like, at first when they heard how much you were freaking out, were like, "You're not gonna throw up, are you?" And you're like, "Shut up!" And then, and then you're saying all this stuff, and they're laughing. I'm fucking laughing, and then you. As soon as we start ratcheting up, you also did this and like closed your eyes.
Oh no! As soon as we get to the top, I'm like, oh, maybe it's like smooth sailing for me, or like maybe it's just like a sightseeing thing, not like an actual roller coaster. And then I just open my eyes. I'm like, oh shit, fuck! And then it drops, and I'm like, for like 10 minutes straight. I don't know how long it was.
It was like maybe 2 minutes. It was not
the whole roller coaster ride was
Yeah.
only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm screaming the whole time.
Top of his
And
lungs.
then wait, pull
face in
that
his hand.
picture up.
Fa-
This is
Look how fucking hard
like
I'm
slapping
laughing.
so hard. I'm like, ah! And I look jacked too, which is just makes it look.
Either
More-
way,
more
I'm
ridiculous
so
than
full
I'm
of
just-
joy because he's screaming at the top of his lungs into his hands like a child.
And then we land, and I'm just like, that wasn't so bad.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And like, we're kind of laughing, and the girls behind us are still laughing at him. And he goes, I'd
was
be
like,
a pretty good rape victim.
I could just close my eyes and pretend like I wasn't even there. And then they stopped laughing.
It was fucking awesome. And then I went and I paid like $50 to have these photos because like, there's no way anything's ever going to be better than Eli scream crying into his hands. It's my favorite story.
Yeah, Vegas. That was a decent Vegas trip. I usually
Yeah.
don't enjoy it. I usually just either black out to the point where I don't remember what happened, or I just lose all of my money.
Dude,
I lost $10 on gambling only. That was. Pretty
I
good.
haven't. I got married in Vegas last year, so that was like my favorite Vegas trip. But the time I was in Vegas before that, I was there. It was around my birthday. I went to a birthday dinner, and my mom's there, and then a few of my like old coworkers from my old job, and like a few pretty important business people. And we're sitting around having like a kind of crack the ice business dinner discussion. And then they're like, "Well, who's your celebrity crush?" And everybody's going around the table saying theirs. And then it gets to my mom, and my mom goes, "Oh, I like Keanu Reeves." And then one of the other people, like, trying to make me uncomfortable, they're like, "Oh, Mike, are you uncomfortable that your mom thinks Keanu Reeves is hot?" And I was like, "No, I hope my mom's pussy gets Matrix 2 fully loaded." And everyone at the table was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Okay, sorry, but, like, you're not going to make me uncomfortable."
Yeah. Dude, when we had that dinner with your old boss and like all those rich people,
Yeah.
and then like this Del Frisco's,
Double Eagle Steakhouse, yeah.
and that was probably the best meal I've ever had in my life.
Do you remember the lobster mac and cheese?
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Yeah.
And there was a dungeon or king crab topped sirloin with
Yeah.
like garlic butter and
Yeah.
all kinds of crazy shit. And me and you were just
having the time of our lives.
Just being ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. And I was honestly surprised at how good we were doing.
Well, it's so fun because like the funniest I've ever been at a dinner in history is with that pretty much that same group of people at that same restaurant. And we had racked up like a $3,500 tab with this group of people. And I've been making terrible jokes all night, just saying stuff. And then one of the like waitresses walked in and she was like, "Hey, I heard you guys are really, really funny." And then the waitress who we've been messing around with, and like keep in mind, we've been very crude with them and had like a crude relationship back and forth. The waitress that has been taking care of us goes, no, he's pretty offensive. And I'm like, come on, I'm not offensive. I'll fuck you and pay for the abortion. And like, it was just like, we're drinking being stupid. And the lady dropped her dish and was just like, oh, like, you can't say that to me. And then the manager came in and was like, you can't fucking talk to our staff that way. And like, it's everything. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, that was bad. Like, we're bad. Like, no. And then the lady like keeps yelling at us. And I was like, hey, listen, I just want to tell you, if you weren't being such a bitch, you'd be really hot.
Were you hammered?
And she starts fucking dying laughing. And everybody at the table is like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like,
did you get away with a lot of shit? You say the same type of shit as me, and it always works out for you, and always makes people hate me.
I feel so bad because I never like to fuck with people at like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Because they're working and that's shitty. But the lady that had been taking care of us all night has known my old boss Scott for like 10 years. And she was giving me shit the whole time. She was like a very butch lesbian, and she kept talking about how much bigger her dick was than mine. And she was like, if you want to see how you get really fucked, I'll strap mine on. Fuck you, little boy. Like stuff like that. So that's the rapport I have with this lady. So like, it's not like it came out of nowhere and I'm just like verbally assaulting like this lady doing her job.
Yeah. You remember at our dinner when I was like, our waiter was gay also.
Yeah.
And I was like, you think gay guys like man boobs? And the gay guy just is like, no.
From like 10 feet away, he just goes, no, we don't. Like, oh, okay. Dude, that place is so much fun. Like, I love when you have like a server that's like a really cool person that like fucks around like that. It's like, they don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to be cool. Like, there's a lot of tables that suck.
Most people are just not that fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's not like a choice of like they're choosing to be cool. It's like they're just fun.
That's just who they are. Yeah. That's fair.
There's a good time.
I'll give you that.
How many minutes are we at? Let's cut it here so we don't run out of shit next time.
Yeah, sounds good. Do a
All
short
right.
up. All right.
Subscribe, like, share, follow.
GoldenPricket.com,
GoldenCricketProtein.com, GoldenCricketProtein.com, Giggleboys.com. Give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Produced by Faust Media.
Produced by Faust Media.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Have a great day.